Yes. Welcome back to another stream. Obviously, you had a 10 a.m. stream, which is actually 11 a.m. I think this morning. Now you've got us again. So I hope you're good. What are you saying, bro? How you feeling?
Feeling pretty curious about this news. Benjamin Pavard. By the way, guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream and get those likes up, man. Get those likes past 100 likes, and make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. Yeah, pretty interested to see this Benjamin Pavard because it's come from an okay source. It's not a great source, but it's not a shit source either, which is quite interesting. And obviously, we will probably be signing a defender this summer. And Pavard is a player that is quite versatile. He can play at centre back. He can play at right back, and I'm pretty sure you could probably play at left back. Very experienced. Played at the highest level for both club and country. Yeah. Great age. He's 27 years old. He's just turned 27 years old as well. So perfect level of experience there. Played a lot of football over his career. I'm looking at his career. He's played 152 times for Bayern Munich, 88 times for Stuttgart. He's also played nearly 50 times for France there as well. So a player that has bundles of experience, only has 1 year left on his contract, and a position that City probably do need to strengthen. So the big question is before we talk about whether we think this is possible, do we actually like Pavard? Do we think this is a player that would do well at City? I think he'd do well at City. I think he plays. A standard game, a pretty good game. He plays a lot of football this season for Bayern Munich. He might not be the glamour signing. It might not be the Gvardiol. It might not be the 60, 70 million pound signing, the name that everyone wants, but Could I see Manchester City being interested in Benjamin Pavard? Yeah, absolutely. I could. Absolutely, I could see City being interested in him.
But also, I could see him coming in and doing a job. Mm-hmm. I like to say he ain't no glamour sign or anything like that, but I could see him coming in and doing a job definitely. Mm-hmm. Now, is he one that's going to get all the lights and stuff like that? Like, probably not, but. So it's just Benjamin Pavard, isn't it? But seems like it'd just be a solid player. I think the cash would have to be one thing to see how much it'd cost us to get him out of Bayern Munich. I think Bayern Munich are pretty happy with him having him at the club. There is rumours of him going to Barcelona. Mm-hmm. That's the ones that I've seen most of. So obviously we'd have to fight off interest from Barca for him, obviously, but Barca are in a weird position where I don't know if they can sign anyone anyway. I think it'll split a lot of opinions, this one. For me, I just sit on the side of I think he'll just be of use to the team, like a strength in depth signing, really.
Yeah, which is still good. And the question is, obviously, you mentioned it then, is cash. He's got a year left on his contract, but he's entering his peak now. You know what I mean? He's 27. He's entering his peak ages. I mean, in terms of cash money, what would we be willing to spend on this guy with a year left on his deal? Would we
30 mil?
Yeah, I was thinking with a year left, I don't think I'd be going over 40. I think 40 is sort of like my max figure for him. I don't really think I'd go above that. But yeah, I think 30 to 40 million. I think it probably would be at the upper end. But yeah, I think it'd be a good signing. I think he's a good player. I think he's very, very calm. I think he plays the system well. Like you say, bring him in, rotational player. But if he has to play, I think we'd all be sort of calm with him playing. So, yeah, I think he's a good player.
Question for you and chat is, would you take Pavard straight swap with Cancelo?
Yes. Yeah, I would. Mm-hmm. Because the problem is with Cancelo is, are you going to be able to get rid of him this summer? And if this is a solution of allowing him to leave the club and go somewhere else, and you're getting a player in return, yeah, I would. I think absolutely I would do that. Now, obviously, the problem is, will Thomas Tuchel play Cancelo? I actually think Cancelo might get some more minutes under Tuchel than he did under Nagelsmann. And therefore, he might be happy to go to Bayern Munich in the summer on a permanent transfer if Pavard comes the other way. Because I don't know who's going to take Cancelo. We spoke about this on the streams before. Who's going to pay money for Cancelo the way he's acting right now? So, yeah, I probably would. I think some people in the chat are maybe looking down a little bit, Pavard, man. I think he's a good player.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like it, like a lot. We should probably do a poll, really, but I see loads of people saying like Pavard ain't good, man. He lives off that World Cup goal, Ian says. And there's a lot. He does score bangers, doesn't he, every so often? That's his thing. I think he's got 6 goals this season and like 1 assist or something. Now, this could just be Cage just put it in the chat there. It could just be agent talk with him having 1 year left of his contract. They might just be throwing City into the mix, like happens with a lot of players. Throw City in the mix, try and get a bit of a heftier wage on your contract because you can fake some interest from other teams. So that's the kind of thing. Hugh's in the chat and he just scored a screamer against Ireland last week. Did he? Actually, that's pretty mad. Yeah, he basically just pops up, scores bangers and dips. That's his thing. But yeah, Patrick there in the chat as well says strong Danilo vibes, useful utility player, boring practical, good signing. That's my kind of vibe as well that I was going with before. I think he will be. That was the right word there, utility player. A useful utility player like we can just use when we need him. And he might be quite cheap because of how much he's left on his contract. But he should, well, in my opinion, he should be quite cheap because I would not be paying big cash for Pavard.
No. I think we got to be realistic about this. And is it just a case of, you know, we've seen it with Gnabry a little bit last season. Always been linked with Manchester City. Next thing is signing a new deal. Is this just the agent talking, trying to throw City's name in there? Because this happens a lot. This is why we get so many transfer links and transfer rumours, because it just seems like if you want to get your player to sign a new contract at the club, you say Manchester City are involved and interested, because that seems to be the golden ticket. I don't think this transfer is going to happen. I think it's probably out there just for contract negotiations and trying to strengthen his position.
Yeah,
and the agent talk. But you know, the rumor is out there. And if City are interested, you know, I'd be happy if we got this signing in. You know, like I say, I don't think it's a 6 signing, but for a rotational player, I mean, for the price you're going to pay, I think it's an excellent signing.
Yeah, I think it's pretty decent. And people might be like, well, why, if you don't want it and you know what I mean, you don't think it's actually true, then why are you talking about it? And sometimes it's just nice to talk about other players. We have the same rotation of the same players that we always speak about week in, week out, yeah? The Judes and that. So it's nice to swerve the Jude Bellinghams and speak about like a Pavard or something like that. Something like we've not really spoke about before, just to like have a conversation of whether we would take him at City and how he would do, regardless of whether or how true it is or not. I think it's just good to like kind of see people's opinions on different players, and Pavard's definitely one of them where I don't think have we ever been linked with Pavard before? I don't remember ever being linked with Pavard. Well, that's the situation. There's a guy called Proud Citizen in the chat, and he's just put, "I will never take Pavard. He is the worst." Right. So my first thing was I looked at his name, which is Proud Citizen, and his picture is a Bayern Munich flag. He's got the Bayern Munich logo. He's called Proud Citizen, and he'll say, "I'll never take Pavard." So I don't know if he's like a Bayern Munich fan and a City fan, and he watches it all the time. And then he's like, "Nah, mate, he's shit. I'm not having him at my other club. I have enough of him at one club, not the other one." So yeah, but yeah, Moji's there. It's just rumor going around. That's the situation that we're in. Someone just put, Aline, JP, I want to hear your story about Amsterdam. A lot went on in Amsterdam. A lot that can't be said. Yeah. Dennis has already started the Pavard. I mean, he's not even touched him yet, and he's already there.
I think for me, we need to be looking potentially for the left-footed version of Pavard. Unless they want to go big and go for Gvardiol. If they want to get Gvardiol, that's fine. If they want to get like a Pavard type player, I think they need to be looking at who is the left-footed version of this guy. You know what I mean? Because do we really need another right-footed defender?
Nah,
we can play right back and centre back.
Left back mode, innit? You don't need no right back.
Yeah, I think, and obviously then man says Evan and Dicker. I mean, this is a player that a lot of people have been saying City should be interested in. Obviously, a guy plays for Frankfurt. He's a player that is liked by a lot of people in the stream. His contract ends at the end of the season.
Apparently, worldy on FIFA as well.
23 years old, so he's got loads and loads of growth there, potential. Very fast, apparently, very quick. I mean, is he an option? Free transfer? I mean, City probably are looking at him. But the main news at the moment, the links are Gvardiol. But if they have the cash, then they'll go get him.
Even the Gvardiol stuff, Sam Martin there says Gvardiol has gone quiet recently, to be fair. And I agree. Gvardiol has kind of taken a little bit of a chiller on it. And I never think it got full flight anyway. But we were hearing things like week in, week out. But Gvardiol has kind of gone on the back burner. It seems a bit quiet. And maybe that's just because international break's over. It's time to get back to football. But and obviously Gvardiol himself has come out and said that Leipzig don't want to sell him. And they won't let him go at all this summer, not even for £100 million. Now, him coming out and saying that is a big indicator to City if he's coming out and saying that. And if that is true, that's because I personally don't see us spending more than £100 million on Gvardiol. Surely.
No, I
think City will do that's basically as a Cucurella mode, isn't it? And just going, we ain't paying that.
The latest news on the Gvardiol stuff is that Leipzig don't want to sell Gvardiol until 2024, and that even an offer of €100 million this summer would not change the club's mind.
That's what I mean. So that's why I feel like the Gvardiol news has died. And maybe Leipzig are in a position where they've had a look and they don't see a potential move for anyone that they think could replace Gvardiol this summer. So they're saying, right, 2024 is where we'll sell him. We'll still get a good price tag for him. Or still get cash. And it gives us another year of scouting another centre-back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. Big up Corollas coming in with a 31-month member chat. Says, yes, boys, dynamic duo. Hope all is well. Hope all is well. Yes, Patrick, all good.
Yes, Patrick, mate. Corolla.
Big up Mohammed as well with the 2. Says he's bang average, still living off the World Cup goal.
Yeah, a lot of people said that in the chat, by the way. He's living off the World Cup goal.
I don't think he's bang average. I think it's better than bang average.
He's decent. Decent. He's decent.
I don't think you stay at Bayern Munich for as long as he has done, like 4 years, and play as much football as he has done this season if you bang average. I just don't see it. He's played so many minutes, so many games for Bayern Munich this season. Starts pretty much every single game. I just don't.
Is he injured now? Or is he back?
No, yes, I don't see any injuries. No, he played against Dortmund. The other day. So and he plays. He rotates centre back, right back, according to Transfermarkt data. So he's a player that is very much trusted at Bayern Munich. Plays the Champions League games as well. Played against PSG. Played him at Barcelona. So he's a player that I don't think, if he is bang average, would Bayern Munich would they still be playing him week in, week out? I don't think so. Of course, he played under Nagelsmann. Tuchel played him in his first game. So I don't think he's bang average. I think he's better than bang average. Like I said, I don't think he's a world class player. But again, what do we always say, right? When you're buying players maybe who are not necessarily coming in as starters, you don't really want to be buying world-class players because it's very hard to keep them happy. Look at Laporte, he's a world-class player. You don't play him, he wants to leave. That's how it works. You've got to be buying players who can be a squad rotation player, but are good enough to start if you need them to start, but not see their ass if they don't play every week, because that's what you've got to do. Look at Cancelo, didn't start a couple of games, boom, seen his ass. Laporte don't want to be here because he doesn't play. So it's very, very difficult to sign these type of players. And honestly, if it wasn't due to the fact he was right-footed, I would be all over this deal. I really would.
Yeah, basically, if he was left back, I'd be buying him. I'd be saying yes, full send. I mean, like, left back situation, and we might not go for someone. That's the kind of market I have a feeling that we will be looking at, especially if we do go get a Gvardiol and we do play Ake quite a lot at left back now. That could be Ake's spot now. Like, that might be his position for Manchester City. Sometimes players move position and Pep doesn't try him elsewhere unless you needed. So Ake's main position, because of how good he's doing at left back, might be, and his improvement on the ball, Pep might just be like, yep, this is you now. This is at City. On the game time, you are going to be a left back for us. So we're in a position at left back wise. We might not be looking for a starter left back like a Theo Hernandez. We might have swerved that now and moved on. We might be looking for just someone who can fill in as a backup, so we can switch it up every now and again, so we don't have to ham out Ake. Because say if Ake was to get injured now, we'd be in the mud. So we don't want to be in that situation. But if we have a left back who can slot in there when Ake isn't there, then you got to look for someone who isn't maybe like a will beater, like a Teo Hernandez or something like that. My head just springs straight away to that Rafael Guerrero guy. Is that what he's called? From Dortmund. I think he's free this summer.
Yes.
So I think he's someone that City could potentially looking at and just go, you know what, he'll slot in. And then people might be saying, yeah, but he's terrible. He might not be very good. But it's these players that you have to allow a bit of a dip in quality to allow players to be backups, so they know their position in the team.
Correct. Yeah. Just checking the latest on Pavard, latest rumours. Juventus apparently are strongly interested. And you know what? Pavard sort of stinks of a Juventus type player. I could see that happening 100%. And as you said as well, Barcelona are also in the mix. But can they even sign players? Like, what the fuck is going on with their club?
What is that? Like, what is their club at the moment?
It's bizarre. So I would probably say, yeah, it's unlikely to go to Barca. I reckon, yeah, maybe he will end up in Italy. We could fully see him going to the Italian league, or maybe someone in England. Maybe not City. Maybe someone else will go and get him. You know, because at the end of the day, whatever people think about him, you know, and the majority of the people in the stream don't want him. 52% say yes. Say no, they don't want him. 48% say they would take him at City. He's still a good player, and he's still a good addition to anyone's squad. So, you know, could a team in England get him? You know what I mean? Could he strengthen United? Probably would strengthen him. Can play the same sort of style. Liverpool, you know what I mean? They're having serious issues with Trent and Kanate and Van Dijk. Could they strengthen him? So I do think that he's going to probably be in high demand. I just don't think he's the what we need at City. I would take him at City. I like him. I think he's a good player, and I would have had him at Manchester City. But if we needed him, but based on his position, his role, and what we currently already have, I just don't think he's what we're looking for right now.
That's the issue, isn't it? Right now, I don't think we'll sign a right back. I don't think we'll sign a right back. And even in the other stream this morning, we had a little like conversation about the left back side of things. And even then, I was saying like, yo, I don't even know if we'll sign a left back. Where things are going at City, don't you? We played 4 centre backs against Liverpool and beat them 4-1.
Yeah, I have some concerns that we won't sign a left back, because if we do go to this 3 at the back system properly next season and we run that and we do get Gvardiol, which I still think there's a strong chance we'll get Gvardiol, I think that he won't get a left back, because I think he'll want to give Ake some minutes there and say, look, if we need to play a left back, we'll play Ake left back. So he's protected minutes wise. But that does tell me that we'll probably get 2, maybe 3 midfielders, a centre back, and maybe a winger. I do think we need a winger this summer. Maybe go for Leao. He absolutely destroyed Napoli the other day. It was absolutely incredible. But now there's rumours of him signing a new contract, although that has been going on for some time. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's very interesting, man, because I can't lie. I really can't lie. I would have thought we would have had some more news by now. I've been saying, do you remember in January? And I was like, yeah, we're going to get some news March, April. Like, we've had very little. I guess we've had some news for Bellingham, and like I think most people are feeling pretty confident on the Bellingham thing right now, but still not had any bombazos. And everywhere else, I mean, we've got to sign at least 1 more midfielder, maybe 2. We need a winger. We need a centre back. We probably need a left back. And it's very, very, very quiet. So either City are going to shock us to the downside and they're going to have a stinky summer, or they're doing very, very well to keep the information in-house and prevent any
scene, isn't it? Like, yeah, like kind of, do you remember when we signed Bernardo Edison and it just came, it was like, what the fuck, where's that come from? And it was literally, it was back to back, wasn't it? 2 days. Bernardo Edison, like that, and you're like, what? Maybe that's a thing, but it's definitely quiet. It's definitely quite. I mean, like it helps us in the sense of content for summer, because when we get it all done early, it's a bit of a rip in it, but helps us for content for summer anyway. And it means it'll be an exciting summer if all that's happening is they keep it under wraps. But maybe it's not that. Maybe they were just trying to focus on the season, or maybe they're trying to keep it more under wraps because of the season.
Yeah,
because they need our players to be focused. We don't want players like players like Bernardo, players like Gundogan to see rumours of like week in, week out, or like advancements in their replacements, basically. We need them to just be fully focused and not thinking about who's coming through that door as they leave that door. Like, or City just doing me and you a favour, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I really would have thought that we've had some more news by now. I'm really shocked. I'm really surprised that it's now first week of April. Season ends next month.
Question: are we scraping the barrel on transfer stories?
No, I don't think so. I think the source on this one is a fairly reliable source. I think it's
all right.
decent.
Yeah, there's a lot worse out there. There's a lot worse out there.
So no, I think this, and it's a player that I think City may be interested in. I think City probably are looking at Pavard. So no, not at all.
I think he'll be on the list. He'll definitely be on the list
because of the price.
That's it. If you can get in cheap, it's like, you know what?
City will look at that and go, oh, you know what? That is an attractive price, which is why I think he'll be in very high demand, and he's probably in a very, very strong negotiating position now for Bayern Munich. Why? He's got 1 year left in his contract. He's played pretty much every single game for Bayern Munich this season. I think he'll be in extremely high demand, and he's not actually a very expensive player to buy. So I think that Bayern Munich, he might be able to get some good wage increase out of that deal. But if I had to say now what I think will happen, I think he probably will re-sign at Bayern. But I could quite easily see another club coming in for him and saying, "Come to us, we'll give you a big pay rise, and you can start every week and be more of a main man." Because he is a bit of a grey man at Bayern, isn't he? Like, no one really knows him.
Yeah, it is grey man mode. Do you know what? Like, actually, I checked his transfer marked out when I seen it before when we were looking. And for the longest time, bro, for some reason, I thought at one point Pavard was on at PSG. I don't know why. I just thought in my head, Pavard was just at PSG for me. I don't know why. Like, I thought he was on loan at Bayern. Or like, my first thing was like, I went to check to see if he was a full sign for Bayern or a loan, and then I was like, wait, he's actually just never played for PSG. I made that up. I made a full transfer up in my head.
Big up James Perry coming in with a 5-month member chat. Says Walker Peters would be a perfect for City. Can play left and right back, homegrown. Can learn from Walker and can be a backup for Ake if needed. Well, listen, lad, I've been banging the drum about Walker Peters now for a year or so. I think he'd be a brilliant signing. Contract ends in 2025. 2 years left on his deal. 25 years old. As you rightly say, he can play left back and he can play right back. He's very versatile. He's quick. He's good on the ball. He can put a ball in the box. I think he's a vastly underrated player. And if Southampton go down and a top 6 club doesn't go in for him, I'll be stunned. Massively underrated player in this country. I think he's mint. And the fact, like I say, the fact he can play left back and right back, brilliant.
Yeah, I think
a top 6 club should be going in for him in the summer.
Yeah, versatile player in it, and City love versatile players. I think he'd do well at City. I think he'd smash it at City, mate.
He's a great player. I think he'd smash it anywhere he goes. I'd just be very, very shocked if a top 6 club didn't come in for him in the summer. I think he's proven that he is capable of that.
Yeah, and it should be very gettable, like price-wise as well.
Especially if they get relegated.
If they get relegated, bro, it should be easy to get him out of that club.
I think 25-30 million.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we say that, but then obviously we paid 40 million for Ake. But I do think
didn't Ake have a stronger contract though? I'm sure Ake had maybe 3 years or 4 years. And maybe Ake's a little bit more valued because obviously he played centre back and he played for Chelsea, so maybe he was a little bit more valued. Kyle Walker-Peters obviously struggled at Spurs to get in the side. And then he's been at Southampton. So I do think you could probably get him a little bit less than Ake.
Yeah. Lewis Morrill, still on the subject of Southampton, says, would you take Ward-Prowse from Southampton relegated?
Absolutely not.
I personally wouldn't take him. Probably people who are fans of him. I won't take him. But I do think he'll go straight back into the Premier League, definitely. I think he'd do bits for some Premier League sides. I just personally won't take him.
I think he's a lower level / mid-table team. I don't think he's a top 10 player.
I wouldn't see him signing for Charlotte. Yeah, you just read my mind. It stinks of a Spurs signing. It stinks of someone that Spurs would just go get for some reason.
No, he's not good enough at that level. For me, it's like a relegation to mid-table team. I just don't think he's that good. I really don't rate him. I know he can whack a free kick in that, and he's decent.
He's
on
free
that,
kick merchant, isn't it?
You gotta have more to your game. And I always say this, right? He's been at Southampton now his whole career, right? He's played 400 games at Southampton. If he's that good, why has no one signed him? Because he's not that good. Scouts have done the research. Managers have done the research and gone, he ain't that great. He's sick at free kicks, but he must be lacking something in his game that no one's pulled the trigger. He's 28 years old. If he was that good, someone would have signed him. So it backs my theory up that he's not actually that good, and he's a lower. I do think he's a Premier League player. I
think he's a Prem player.
But I just don't think he's a top 10 player. I just don't.
Yeah. His contract, he's signed the new contract recently, so his contract expires in 2026.
It might have some sort of release clause in there though, if they get relegated.
Yeah.
Calvin Phillips had one, didn't he? If Leeds got relegated,
20 mil was it, something like that?
Yeah.
So he might have something in that. Just as a sidestep, just quickly, this is nothing in the chat, nothing to do with anything at all, just a question from me. And you might know this, bro. Liam Delap's at Preston, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Is he doing well or not? Do you know what I mean? Is he starting games or anything? I just thought about it then. He's not starting.
I don't believe he's starting.
That is mad.
No, I don't think so. I think he did start games, I think, but then I've not heard anything. And the last information I see when Gavin retweets it is that he's always on the bench. So
Bobby there in the chat says he's doing poor.
Yeah, he's doing great. So
Shame,
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Liam Delap because the problem is he had a back injury, and a back injury proper fucked him. It proper
came at the worst time, didn't it?
It did. It come at a terrible time, and so that wasn't great. So yeah, I don't know what we do with Liam Delap. I don't even know what his contract situation is at City now. I think he has got a few years left. But let me see. Man City contract. His contract's until 2026. Okay, so
big contract. Yeah.
I would probably look at another loan next season in the Championship for a team that can guarantee him minutes and see how he does. He's had a really tough time. Went to Stoke, didn't really do very well. They sacked the manager. He's gone to Preston halfway through the season. It's not easy that, you know what I mean? And Stoke probably wasn't the right move for him anyway. So he probably not had a great, management choices there in terms of where he's gone. Get him into a club in the Championship next season, fresh pre-season behind him, a club there he's going to be the main striker, where they don't have another striker who's better than him, and just full send it. And I think he'll do well. But he needs to perform now, because how old is he now? He's 20. He'll be 21 at the end of next season. That's when City want to be cashing in. So hopefully he'll have a good season next year.
Yeah, hopefully. It's pretty mad, that. It's pretty mad. Largo in the chat says, how about Hakimi as a right back signing? I think that you're not going to get. Personally, Hakimi just stinks of Real Madrid signing.
Yeah, I also, players like that, right? I look at them and go, would you be able to cut it in the Prem? Right, maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't.
No,
but
I think he'd cook me. I think he'd be sick.
Yeah, I don't know. I've just seen. I'm not saying he wouldn't. But certain players, I look at them and the way they play, and I'm thinking, you could really flop in the Prem. I don't know if he would. I'm not saying he would or he wouldn't. I'm just he's one of them where I would question it. But I do like him. I do like Hakimi. The problem is it costs a lot of money. And I agree with you. I think he probably is destined for Real Madrid. Real Madrid are in need of a right back. You know what I mean? They've got Carvajal who's getting on. So they need to invest, and Hakimi being 20, 24, 25, I agree. That they should go for Hakimi. I think they should.
Yeah, it stinks of some. I just always see that as where his destination will be.
Yeah, and there's people saying in the chat he's been investigated for rape.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Footballers are mad, Yeah. Crazy, bro. Crazy, man. Live wild lives. Mm-hmm. Yeah, other than that, I got no news, bro.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, like I say, we've surely we're going to be getting news soon. Surely we're going to be getting news soon. I mean, because you do normally get news towards the end of the season, and obviously,
apparently, bro, Jude Bellingham to make his decision the second week of April. We're now week 1, so maybe next week is big news mode.
Yeah. Let's see what happens with that one. Obviously, we know about. Obviously, you probably would have watched the City game. City versus Liverpool. Does he want to come into a team that's looking like it's going to cook, or is he going to want to go to a team where he can help them, rebuild and be the main man? I don't know, innit? It's up to him, really.
You can see ideas for both sides, innit? Guy needs to just make his decision, innit?
Mm-hmm. And do Liverpool have the funds for him? 125 million.
That's it, cash money.
Because the thing is, right, if they signed Jude Bellingham for 125 million, do what they did with Nunes last season, and that's pretty much it, I don't think they challenge for the Premier League next season with just Jude Bellingham. I think they do better than this year. I think they'll probably be in the top 4, but I don't think they've got the squad. I think they need 2 or 3 midfielders. I think they probably need another defender, and they don't have the cash for that. So if they put all their eggs in one basket in Jude Bellingham, I don't think they challenge. I don't think they challenge for the Prem. I think they do a lot better this year. I think they probably finish 3rd or 2nd, but I don't think they fully get it, man.
Ooh, no. Yeah, Hughes have you seen Hughes' message? That was pretty heavy. So quick on that. Hugh, the big Hugh Murray, innit, is just messaging. Apparently Liverpool in the nose are saying that Dortmund, Jude's pressed Dortmund to agree to do with Liverpool. Their version of Ptolemy, basically. So that's going to be interesting.
But they have to match what City are paying. If City are saying we'll give you 125 million,
Dortmund will just accept our offer, innit?
Dortmund are not going to be like, yeah, we'll accept a lower offer just because you want to go Liverpool. You go where the cash is. So yeah, it's all well and good on that. I'm still pretty confident on Bellingham. I'm not like mega confident, but I'm a lot more confident than I was like a month ago when
we did that stream and we was like, yeah, this is in the bin, this deal. I feel better about it than I did then.
You know what I've also been doing? I've also been watching a lot of McAllister over the last week.
Ooh.
Because I feel like McAllister is something that could happen. I do, and maybe with Bellingham, maybe as a replacement for Bellingham if we miss out on Jude Bellingham.
Maybe with Maddison.
Yeah, maybe with Maddison. And I've got to say, he is a very, very good player. And I do really, really like the look of him. And I think one thing that I'd not really seen of him that much is him carrying the ball. I know he's great on the ball, great passer and that, but one thing that I've not really seen of him is him carrying the ball forward. And he does it really, really well. He does it really, really well. The big one on that is the fee. Will we get roasted on the fee? We'll have to wait and see on that because obviously it is Brighton and he's a World Cup winner, so he's going to be expensive. But I do. He's growing on me. He's massively growing on me. I think he's great on the ball. I think he'd fit into our side better than Jude Bellingham. I think there'd be a less adaptation period. And yeah, you know what? I'm starting to get behind that McAllister move. I really am.
How much do you reckon it costs? Because Brighton will roast us. So how much do you reckon do we get roasted for? They wanted £60 million for Cucurella.
Let me have a look at his contract situation.
I reckon Brighton would probably ask us for 80 mil.
Let's have a look at his contract. He's got 2 years left on his contract.
It's not too long.
He's only 24 as well. I mean, if they ask for 80 million, I think I'd pay 80 million.
If you could get both, if you could get Jude or you could get McAllister and Maddison for the similar price, what would you go with? Jude or McAllister? And
see, that's a really tricky question. It's a good question. The reason is because what's the better decision? What is the better decision? For me, the better decision is to get Alexis McAllister and Maddison. The problem that you have is that Jude Bellingham has the potential to be one of the greatest midfielders
to levels, innit?
He has the potential to be world-class Ballon d'Or contender. I don't think McAllister does, and obviously Maddison doesn't. They're great players, but I don't think they're at the same level. However, having said that, that is potential with Jude Bellingham. He might never reach them levels. He might never reach Ballon d'Or levels. I think he will be a good player, and I think if he goes to Liverpool or City, I do think he'll probably end up being world-class. But how high can he go? Because I think that extra, from 90 million to 125 million, that money for me is you're buying a player here because he might actually turn out to be one of the greatest players of all time.
Mm-hmm.
You buy McAllister for 80 million, 90 million because you know he's mint. He is great, but he's probably never going to be a Ballon d'Or type player. And that's, I think, why you're paying the extra 30, 40 million for Bellingham because he might have that.
Because he might have that the extra level in it that he can go to.
So for me, I think the actual what City probably should do, they probably should get McAllister and Maddison. Does that mean that's what I want them to do? I don't know.
It seems like the smart move, doesn't it? Seems like the smartest way.
Look, because at the end of the day, both players played in the Premier League. I wouldn't have any issues at all with either of them coming into our side. I said this a minute ago, and I say it again. I think McAllister would fit into Manchester City's team better than Jude Bellingham. Initially, that doesn't mean to say that Jude Bellingham wouldn't overtake McAllister in a few years, but I do think that with Bellingham, you might have a little bit of a transition. I think McAllister would fit into our team better. And Maddison's a player that I like. And in fact, you like Maddison, bro, because I remember when we used to debate about Maddison or Grealish, you used to love Maddison.
Yeah, I rated Maddison. I thought he'd do sick in the City side.
I think Maddison would be a good player, especially now. I think with the false nine, I think he wouldn't have had a bigger impact. But I think now that we've got an actual striker in there, I think he'd cook. I really, really do.
I think he'd do well.
How much do you reckon you get him for? Because he's only got a year left on his deal.
50 mil.
What about if they get relegated?
Oh yeah, they're down there, isn't it?
They're in the fucking shit. Obviously, they're looking for a new manager. They've sacked Rodgers now.
40 mil.
Yeah. I think it's a good price. He's 27, I think. 27, 28. You're getting McAllister for 24. I think these are top signings. And like I say, it's not the glamour signing. People want Bellingham. But I think if City get Alexis McAllister and James Maddison in the summer, I think that is a very, very strong transfer window.
Oh, it's unreal. It's unreal. Maddison would cook in the City side, 100%. McAllister would cook in the City side. I think both would do well. I think to get Gundo, say Gundo Bernardo leaving, get Maddison and McAllister in, bro, you cannot be unhappy with that window. That's sick. Patrick Carolus with a $2 donation says, Gabri Hill, all set. Gabri Veiga, he is special. Like I said, I've not seen anything of him, Gabri Veiga.
I watched the highlights, bro, and he does look a very, very tidy player. And he will leave in the summer because he's got a £35 million buyout. So someone will activate that.
What level is he at, though? Is he at like CFG signing level, or is he at he'll come and play for City?
I think he's a player. I think he's a player that could play. I think he's in that sort of Perone bracket, but you'd have to say right now, just based on purely the leagues, he's probably above Perone. But I think he's in that sort of level where we'd need to look at him and decide what to do. But he's a player that from what I've seen from the comps, he looks like he's probably going to have a very strong career, and he's going to leave. He's going to leave in the summer because 35 million quid. Sometimes you watch a player, you can watch the comps, right, and they can bang goals in, right, and you think, oh yeah, min. But then you look at other comps of other players, like and it often happens with midfielders, and you can tell that they're a good player. Anyone can score screamers, right? Look at Joe when we signed Joe. Yeah, anyone can score screamers. Anyone can make a YouTube compilation of someone playing as a striker and make them look sick.
Hey, Michael Keane scored a screamer last night. Anyone can score
exactly. I think when it comes to midfield players, I feel like it's a lot more difficult. It's a lot more difficult because you have to look at stuff. He always had his head up. He was always scanning. Veiga, I think, is a very, very strong player. Interestingly, I put a poll in the chat. So, guys, make sure you have your say on the poll because there's 400 people watching. By the way, make sure you drop a like on the stream, get those likes up. Just over 100 votes, so there's still loads of people that haven't voted on this poll, but it's a really interesting one. If you had the option of taking Jude Bellingham or McAllister and Maddison, who would you take? Now, currently, 61% of the chat, just gone down to 60, say Jude Bellingham. But there's a strong amount of people that want McAllister and Maddison.
Yeah, 64 is decent.
And it's going up as well. Did you say what you take? Have we even said what we do?
I mean, the smarter move is McAllister and Maddison. The smarter move is that. Jude Bellingham isn't the smart move in this situation. Jude Bellingham is the full send situation. I think McAllister and Maddison, I'd take that. I think I'd go McAllister. I'm probably being stupid, but I'd probably go McAllister Maddison, bro. McAllister's still quality. It's just that risk that Jude could, and it could be that extra level up.
But the thing is with Jude, he's not going to do that straight away, is he?
That'll take time.
It's going to take time. It's going to take a few years. You're not just going to come into Liverpool and start being like some absolute world-class Zidane type player. It's going to take him a few years. Not saying he won't do good. I think he will do good. I think he'll do good if he comes to sit at Liverpool. But I'm talking about why you just said that is because you're worried that he will end up to be like a great,
elite level, innit? Yeah,
elite level, like in the Ballon d'Or category. But that's not going to take straight away. And unless Liverpool get a new owners, they're not going to be able to compete financially, and therefore, when he does get to that level, he'll probably leave anyway.
Yeah, Patrick says there a lot of FOMO with Jude, and it's the fear of missing out on what could be.
That is true. That is 100% true, and I will accept that's one of the reasons that I look at Jude Bellingham over McAllister and Maddison, because I've got the maddest FOMO, because I know for a fact that there is a very, very good chance that Jude Bellingham in a few years' time will be one of the best players in the world, and that's why that's why I said that's the difference between his price and McAllister.
Yeah, that's exactly it. But
you know what you're getting McAllister. He probably will improve, but he's never going to be a Ballon d'Or type player. And that's why you're only paying 80 to 90 million. But with Jude, that's why you're paying the extra 30 to 40 million, because you know that there's a serious chance he'll be absolutely sick.
Yeah, and I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like, either way, say it was a choice between them three players. Say it was them two options, and we opted for Jude Bellingham. Am I going to be sat there going, oh no, we should have got McAllister and Maddison? Nah, I'd be buzzing that we went and got Jude. Like, it's a kind of luxury position to be in, to be involved with these kind of names.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Big up Joe with the 2 says, we roast Chelsea because they need cash, Kovacic and Chile. Well, again, I like both of them players. I really, really do. I think that, would you get Kovacic if you got McAllister? Probably not for me. I think they're too similar. So for me, I get Kovacic if I get Jude. That's what I do.
How much can Kovacic cost from Chelsea?
40 million. 40 million. Stretch 50 million.
Yeah, my head says like 30, 40 for Kovacic. How long's he got left? He's got a year left as well, hasn't he?
I think a year or 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty mad.
But yeah, I like both of them players. I think Chilwell's a great player.
Chilwell's man.
For time.
But yeah, I'm not sure on the cash on Chilwell either. How much did they sign Chilwell for? Like 50 mil?
50 mil. I think they'd want.
They'd want that back. The minimum.
100%. Yeah. So I mean, have a look at the poll now. We've got 220 votes on this. So we've had a good response to this poll. 57% of people want Jude Bellingham. 43% of people want McAllister and Maddison. What I think is better for Manchester City in the short term is McAllister and Maddison. In the short term. But in the medium to long term, it might be Jude Bellingham.
Might.
Exactly, might. No guarantees.
Yeah, but I think what City will do is they'll try their best to get Jude, to put all their eggs in that basket. Well, not really put all their eggs in the basket, but like they'll full send on Jude Bellingham, and then they'll look at the other options if that deal falls down. That's why you're looking at us getting linked to the other midfielders as well. I think our main priority this summer is Jude Bellingham. I think the McAllisters, the Maddisons, the Kovacic, they're all basically B team. They're like Judy's A team, then it's filled with one player, and the rest of the players are underneath that. And then if we want to get two midfielders, we'll pick one from the B team if we do get Jude, depending on price. But I think we'll full send Jude first.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's an interesting one. We'll keep our eye on it. And like I say, guys,
next
surely,
week, bro, it's gotta be in it. Gotta be.
If we get to the end of next week, 16th of April. And there's still not been some more like serious news, I'm going to be absolutely stunned. Seriously. Stunned.
Yeah. There's got to be something, bro. We were so close to the end of the season. There's only 2 months to the transfer window.
I agree. Now, that's all. The thing is, though, I disagree. And the reason I disagree is I disagree with how people think Jude would be deployed for Manchester City. I think Jude would be deployed next to Rodri, and he would join the attack. I don't think he would be playing in an attacking position. I think I agree. If you play Jude Bellingham in an attacking position, I do think it would disrupt the team, because I don't think he suits that position. And I've seen loads of people on Twitter. I've seen Nabil say it. I think Amir said it as well. He's not a cam. For me, he's a box-to-box player, and I would have him deeper and allow him to join the attacks But yeah, I mean, and that's another problem that you've got with Jude Bellingham. You know, he's still young. Where's his best position? Can he play deep? Is he a cam? You get McAllister. Everyone knows what McAllister does. No, there's not going to be no question marks. Ooh, well, how's McAllister going to play today? Everyone knows he's just a CM. You know what I mean? He's a 6 CM. He can do a bit of everything. So, and again, that's why I say in the short term, for me, the better decision is McAllister and Maddison combined.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not even spoke about Maddison really that much in this stream, but he's a top player. Yeah. Maddison's a top player. I mean, if you look at Maddison's stats, in fact, I've got to tell you Maddison's stats, man, because I checked them out the other day. Unbelievable stats. Bear in mind, he's playing for an absolutely dreadful Leicester team. 21 games, 9 goals, 6 assists in 1,726 minutes. If you do it by minutes, it's very, very impressive. It's a goal or an assist every 115 minutes for a midfielder for Leicester. They're incredible numbers. Incredible numbers.
That is sick. I'm getting, you know what I mean? And then you add that on the top, that it's for Leicester as well, man. Who are having a terrible season. I
agree. Big Up Jerker says, do you guys think we can get Gavi? Because he doesn't have the senior contract, right? I mean, I'd love Gavi.
Yeah, he doesn't have a senior contract at this moment in time.
I would imagine they get it sorted out.
Yeah. I imagine they'll sort something. They'll sort something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Right, okay, cool. Well, that's a little bit of an update on Pavard. We'll have to keep our eye out. Personally, I don't think it's going to happen. I do think it's probably agent talk to try and get a contract extension at Bayern Munich. But we also had a good chat randomly, which often happens in these streams, about the midfield and about Jude and about McAllister. So, yeah, maybe we'll have to, when Hugh sorted his mic out, maybe we'll have to do a stream on this, like, and have a proper in-depth conversation about Jude versus McAllister and a combination and see what people are saying and have a proper stream and have a good talk about it. I think it'll be good content. But guys, hopefully you've enjoyed it. Make sure you guys smash a thumbs up button on the stream. We need 30 people to hit the thumbs up button to get us to 200 likes. So hit that like button. There's 400 people in the stream. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. And we'll see you later on. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.